Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome to this Swift tutorial. And in this video we are going to be taking a look at extensions. And what we're going to cover in this video is, as I said, extensions, what you can do with extensions, how to extend and what you can extend. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at in this video. If that's something you want to learn how to do, then just keep on watching this video and we will be taking a look at some extensions. Okay, so let's take a look at extensions, and in order to do that we're going to open up our playground. I'm going to choose a blank one and simply save it as my playground 2, and then we can start by, I'm just going to put it in full screen and remove this. So extensions are a way of extending our objects or adding functionality or properties to already existing objects. One of these objects is what we often refer to as a type. So if when we define, for example, a number that is of type double is equal to 2.0, then we have a type here, a type double. Now what we could do is we could extend this object double here to add more functionality to it. So that's the first thing I'm going to show here. That is extending a type. And the way we do that is we start with our keyword extension. Then we write which object we want to extend, and in this case it's the double. And the best way to show how this works is simply by writing it out first, and then we're going to take a look at some examples of how this could be useful. So let's say we want to extend as functionality to our double type because we're creating a currency calculator. And something that we might add then is, for example, euros, which is of type double. And then we're going to say return self divided by 1.1. Now I'm going to show what this does. If you, for example, down here have an amount in US dollars, which is of type double, is equal to 100, then we could print amount. We could now print amount in US dollars dot euro, and what we would have is we would have our price in euros. So let's see what we get here. So as you can see here, we have our price in euros. So what we did is we extended our double type here and added some extra functionality to it. So here we create a normal constant named amount in US dollars, which is of type double, is equal to 100. Then we can take this constant here, and because it's a double, we can access its euro property, which we added up here. So here we simply added a variable named euro, which was of type double, and the value this one should have is self, or the value that we pass, which is in this case 100, divided by 1.1. So we could add one more here just to show, just paste it in here. For example, GBP, Great British Pounds, divided by 1.25. I could copy this, paste here, and I could simply say .gbp, and then I will have my price in pound also. So this is a way of extending already existing objects and types. And instead of only adding doubles, I could also return a string. So for example, if we have yen, which is of type string, then here we are going to return, instead of returning a double as we do here, we are going to return a string, which is self divided by 0.01 approximately. And then because it doesn't return a double anymore, it actually returns a string. Let's see, we just need this one. So we could now create a constant, which is my string is of type string, is equal to amount in US dollars dot yen. And this wouldn't normally work because amount in US dollars is a double and we can't pass that to a string unless we convert it somehow. But we say dot yen, which is a string. So we're accessing the variable yen here, which is a string that is created by taking the number 100 divided by 0.01 and turning it into a string. So this is one of the ways that extensions become very useful. It lets you do things very quickly, and that's one great way to use extensions. And of course, you can also extend self-created structures and classes. So let's just take a look at how that would work. If we have a struct here named myStruct, and then we have two variables. So first variable is equal to 2 and second variable is equal to 5, for example. So here we are defining our structure, but let's say longer down in our code we want to add some functionality to that structure. Well, then we simply use our extension keyword here. Then we say what we want to extend, which is myStruct that we defined right above our brackets here. And then we can add whatever we want to. For example, a function named myFunction, which takes 0 parameters and returns nothing. Well, we're going to let it return an integer here. And then we're going to take our first variable, times second variable. And if you want to, you can add a return statement here, but because this is Swift 5, you no longer need it, but we can put it here for clarity purposes. So we have defined our structure, then we added a function to that structure, and now we could say let my number is equal to myStruct dot, and we can run my function, which is going to return an integer. And if we now print my number, it should be 10. My number, let's see if it is. Let's launch it here. And it is. So again, only a simple extension here. We already have had our structure. Then we extended it by adding a function to it. And we could also extend it by adding variables, and we could add a bunch of things really. But this just goes to prove the point that you can also extend self-created objects like structure and classes. A last thing I'm going to show as it relates to extensions. Of course, there are a bunch of things one could cover with extensions, but one thing is we're going to go through or take a look at how we could add protocol conformance with extensions. So let's say we have a class here named $amount to continue on our track with currency conversion, and we're simply going to leave it empty for now. Then we have a protocol, which we're going to call myProtocol, like this. And a protocol simply tells a class or a structure certain requirements that it needs to fulfill. So let's say we have a class and we add a protocol to it. That protocol is going to tell our class, for example, how to behave, which variables it should have, and how it should look, and all that stuff. So basically, yes, how it should behave. So now we have our protocol here. We are defining a new protocol named myProtocol. And what we want our protocol to enforce is that every object that is conforming to this protocol should have a variable named total amount, which should be a double. And then we have to simply write the get keyword here that it should be gettable. So now if we have our class here and say we want to add a protocol conformance to our class, we would simply use again our extension, and we would access our $amount class and then add protocol conformity by saying myProtocol protocol, like that, and curly braces. And now we would get an error unless we add our variable named total amount. So now we have added a protocol to our class, but we haven't done the necessary things in order to conform to that protocol. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to add our variable here named total amount, which is of type double, and then we can add a value to it, for example 500. So as you will see, the error will now disappear because we have conformed to our protocol. So now if I create a constant named my new class is equal to $amount, I could now access this number by .total amount, and I can print my new class, which is a weird name to give our constant here, but it will prove the point. As you can see, 500. So all we did here was we created an empty class, then we created a protocol. We added protocol conformance to the class by also adding a variable to it with a value of 500, and then when we access that variable, we can print it out here and do whatever we want with it. So those are 3 ways. I just wanted to show you how you can use extensions, either by extending an already existing type or object. You can extend your own objects, or you can use it to conform to certain protocols. So that's all for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you click the subscribe button. The like button is always much appreciated. And then I will see you back in the next video. As always, thank you for watching.